Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so if you follow me, then you probably think it's a foregone conclusion that I'm just gonna make a video on a certain topic that I've been making videos on for the past week and a half. Well, longer than that, obviously, but you'll get what I'm saying. Kyrie Irving and Josiah and the whole thing has reached a space where I guess everybody's ready to move forward together. Um, Adam Silver has since come out, said that he doesn't believe Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic. He sat down with Kai, and now Josiah is also with his wife as well, have sat down with Kyrie Irving and R2, saying that they sat down with him and have come to the belief that he is not anti-Semitic and want to stand with him in regards to that or what have you. I didn't want to make a video on this. I'm a strange mind. You guys know me. I'm different. I didn't want to make a video on this because I don't want them to sweep this under the rug like it's fine. And I think that's where we're headed. As if we didn't find out what we just found out. Everybody's supposed to be cool now. It's like, okay, we took the button off Kyrie's. Fine, you guys. We can go back to work. And I think this is how the bullcrap gets upheld. I don't think Kyrie has anything to do with that. I really don't. I think he's done his part. I think they probably applied pressure. I think he did what he had to do. I think the pressure was applied on his end as well, and now everybody's playing nice, and that's a good thing. But the problem is, some real stuff just happened right now. Real truths just came into the world that we just found out. Real hypocrisy was just upended. We saw some people's true colors. I don't want to go back to the old world. I don't want to go back to a world where we don't know what we just found out, and now everybody's supposed to be able to do what they just did, and now they can just stop doing it, and it's just supposed to go back to normal. I don't want that to be the reality we're in. I want to be in the reality where we're continuing this process of holding people accountable for doing what they just did, and I don't think that's what's about to happen. I think we're about to start talking about other things. I think a new distraction will be right around the corner to get our minds effectively off of this, and we can go back to handling business as usual, as to which those behind the curtain can keep on being behind the curtain. And what I'm telling you is, this ain't over. This ain't over. And I want them who are behind the curtain, who follow me, to understand that I'm not saying that because I want things to continue being bad. I'm saying this because God did this, and he didn't do this so that y'all can go back to things as normal. Not at all. I don't believe that at all. And what I'm telling you is, brace yourselves for something that's going to make it so that this does not necessarily go away. This is not even a hunch. This is what I know is about to continue. Just like I told you all of this was going to come to pass, I'm telling you that this ain't passing away, so to speak. This is not going to die. They're going to have to deal with this. See, here's the thing. As I told you guys in the video that I made this morning, a therapy session, which I thought was really, really interesting. If you watch that therapy session, I did not turn the camera off at that time. And if you guys watch enough of my videos, you guys know that I sign out the same way every single time. I didn't get a chance to because I ran out of video at that exact moment. Now, you guys go back and watch that entire video. You tell me that ain't nothing serious. You tell me there ain't something spooky about that. It's that kind of stuff. Completely outside of my control, but definitely on timing, that helps me understand where the confidence I find to believe that the stuff I say is going to play the way it's going to play out. It's because stuff is happening in such a way that makes me just have faith. Like, okay, this is this is coincidental, this is spooky, this is weird, this is something that you just don't have an explanation for. That's what this is as it pertains to how this morning went with that video, and how it's gone pretty much about everything I've talked about in regards to this topic. It has come to pass. All of it. I told all of these guys that they were going to have to backpedal on Kyrie. I told them it wasn't going to go the way they thought it was going to go. This is just all very, very, very predictable. Josiah having to turn it around. Adam Silver coming back out having to turn it around. I still think he should drop an apology. I think he deserves to be held accountable for what he just did there. I really do believe that. You know, we're in a space right now where people really do understand, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that lies have been told for a very long time. Now, how we go about addressing those lies and getting those truths unearthed so that people can have an understanding of what it is that hasn't been told, so that they can have a knowledge of themselves and knowledge of what's going on around them. We're in a space where that is a real thing. People are starting to realize some things that maybe have been kept from them for generations, many, many generations. I just don't think that people who are in a position to market to them, and corporate people and all of that, those who are behind the curtain, as I love to say, I don't think that they're really aware of the forces that they've messed with for so many years when they did it this way, when they invested in culture. You know what I mean? When you invest in culture and you stir up a whole people and you siphon from those people what you do, put it like this. A lot of times people walk around like there is no God. But the problem with that is, if there is one, for which I'm saying there is one, I believe there is one. But what do I know, right? But if there is one, would they not be messing with forces that they don't understand? And wouldn't that be something that could catch them off guard? It's like a lot of people, they act as if God isn't real. But what if he is? That's what I'm getting at. It's like, just because you have an assumption and just because you behave as if, doesn't mean that the consequences will result in such. And I think that's where we're at as it pertains to man pretending to be God. That's, I guess, well, I think we're in a space. I guess we're at a certain time on the clock. I guess I'm gathering. As I look at my wrist, my imaginary watch, I say, this is the moment where I think God is saying, yes, I exist, and I'm going to prove it. That's what I think is happening right now. I think that's happening right now. Hey, y'all can call me crazy, and I think it's fair. Based on everything I've ever said in this camera, I think that's completely fair. But I don't think you can say that I'm 100% wrong if you do the absolute math on everything that I've been talking about. I don't know that you can definitively saying that what I'm saying is not actually what's happening. I don't think you can do that, because I actually think that's what's happening for real. As I look at all these things and I'm piecing them together, I'm like, okay, there's people who are playing God and their plans are falling flat, right? And then there's me sitting in my little household praying my little prayers, and I'm watching certain things come to pass based on those prayers that I'm praying. Now, I'm not saying that I'm causing these things. What I'm saying is the God that I'm praying to is proving himself through what it is that I'm seeing him do. And there are people who are behaving as if he doesn't exist, and I think their calculations are off based on that truth is what I'm saying to you in this camera. I don't think I'm causing nothing. I think I'm talking to the right source. I think my connection with the creator is intact, and that is why I've been having dreams. That is why I've been having conversations that allude to certain realities, and we're seeing it all come to pass if you're following the channel. You're literally seeing it. Like, you're seeing his DNA in the course of things that are occurring based on just me being ahead of stuff, pointing out exactly what I'm saying and he's saying, and then from there stuff is just, as it comes to me, I say, look, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm feeling. I wake up in the morning, I tell you, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and we proceed to see the day go as it goes, and we start to see stuff transpire, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm not a psychic, I'm not that intelligent, I'm just praying, and I'm watching things happen, and I'm watching the people I'm praying for be involved in these things that are happening. And it's just, it's all there. You can go check it out. It's all there. And what I'm saying to you is, now, it looks like man is trying to go back to where it was before all this stuff started happening. And what I'm telling you is just like I told you 2 weeks ago, before all this happened. This is a spiritual conversation. It's been a spiritual conversation. Once you start talking about the people of this and who is not whom, and people lying since the biblical days and going to trace back to ancestors to find out why they were doing certain things, this ain't something that's about to just go away. Like, if you're following this like I'm following this, the ancestors, as we always talk about the ancestors, they were focused on us. This generation, the generation that would have the ability to trace them back to who they were and reveal what it is that they were doing to all, right? This is the to all part. Kyrie and Kanye just basically revealed what the ancestors were trying to get us to understand all of those years when they were passing the information that they had taken from their ancestors to their children. All them years humans were trying to get some generation to be able to piece it all together. And this generation has. That's what I'm telling you. They literally have. But that information wasn't widely known. That's the key to it. Man had done the work, but had not spread the word. There were a good 1-2% of the people who knew the truth, and the rest of them were not aware. So this was how the Lord was going to reveal that truth. No other way. There wasn't nobody behind the curtain about to show us, were they? They weren't about to show us what it was they were hiding. It took somebody who could find their way in there, who had our interests at heart as it pertains to just the people. A guy like Kanye West just happened to get in those rooms, just happened to have the right algorithm of mind to be able to do all he needed to do to work his way into the space he needed to be in to see exactly what he needed to see. And he was wired exactly the way he needed to be so that he could betray them just the way he needed to, so that it would be a wide word in regards to him showing us what's behind it. He had to be that famous. He had to be that well-rounded in the various things that he's gifted in. He had to be that successful in those things. He had to be that demonstrative. He had to have that type of mentality, as we call him crazy or whatever. He had to be all of those things exactly the way he is in order to nestle himself behind the curtain. Because if he was any of those other things, he wouldn't have been wired properly to be where he is to show us what he showed us. I'm telling you this, and I know it. For all those people wondering why Kanye is so different, why Kanye got this trait, that trait, why is it that we can't figure him out? Why is he so chaotic all the time? Because God made him the right puzzle piece to find him in himself exactly where he needed to be. That's why. That's exactly why. That's why he gave that boy so many different talents. That's why he gave that boy so much success. Why he gave him such a allowed him to be wired in such a way. Because if he wouldn't have got there. Enter Kyrie. Same thing. Same exact thing. How different is he? somebody, anybody at all, explain to me the absolute divine rhythm of his basketball dribbling ability. Can anyone who actually looks at it tell me what they're looking at? I'm serious. And I'm getting chills as I say this. Can anyone definitively tell me that there's any rhyme or reason at all to the greatness that is Kyrie Irving's dribbling style? What I'm telling you is, I think the Lord is writing in cursive every time that boy dribbles a ball. I'm dead serious. I think the Lord is very much especially touching that man's fingertips every time he dribbles a ball. He's had his hand on that boy the whole time. His game and his ability is so divine and so ridiculously, incredibly gifted that it led me to believe that he too is touched by God in such a way to where he would be exactly who he is, in the exact way that he is, with the exact talent that he has that is so incredibly divine, just like Kanye's, in a different way, but still some, what the heck, that's definitely God right there type stuff. And he's nestled right where he needs to be, in the position that he's in, at the time he needs to be, at the age he needs to be, in the space he needs. I'm telling you, all this stuff is aligning perfectly. With the mindset that he has to be disruptive, with the mindset that he has, with the issues that he's had with the Nets, leading up to this point with the vaccine choice. Why would the man choose the vaccine? All of these different things. He chose that because it was in his DNA. It felt right to him, right? He did all those things that felt right to him so that he could somehow find himself in this space to do this thing. That's what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm telling you. The proof is in the pudding, man. I'm telling you. He's real. And if we look at it, and as if you add the variable that I said to the situation about God trying to literally prove himself to us in real time, does it not add up? Maybe it don't. But I encourage you to watch the boy dribble the basketball and tell me you can figure it out. Tell me you can figure it out. I'm gonna talk about perfect math. Yeah, that's what I think he's engaging in when he's dribbling the ball. Perfect math. When I listen to certain songs, Kanye West, certain things that he does, certain, and I know he has a lot of producers, just like Dr. Dre, all these guys, Drake, they all have a million producers, but at the end of the day, it's their creative juices putting those producers together to make it so that these sounds come together. That part is not lost upon me as a creative. So with that being said, he comes together to create these not only amusing, but amazing pieces. Some of the best music made by some of the best artists was given to them by this man, Kanye West. Okay? God gave him a very, very unique gift to where he makes the best sound the best they can be. Alicia Keys, Common, Pusha T, he's given them all their best music. John Legend, he's given them all their best music. Like I'm telling you, God has touched this dude with a very unique talent level. It ain't just it's just like Kyrie's dribbling. When you listen to Kanye West music, when you look at one of Kanye's creations, it's like, this is something else. You know it's something else. That's why I sit here and say they took $8 billion from him. No, they didn't. They didn't. God gave him $8 billion worth of talent. They just put a value. They put a value on it. It's actually worth more than that. They put value on what God created. That's what happened there. No different than any other talent person that they put a price tag on and exploit or what have you. They take one of God's creations and then they tell you what it's worth. Like they're God. But they're not God. Because they can't even manage what God created, let alone recreate it themselves. They're having a hard time managing Kanye. They're having a very hard time managing Kyrie. You know why? These people aren't supposed to be managed. They're already managed by God. He got them. They're doing what he put in them to do naturally. Just like I said in my video earlier today, in my therapy session, I was saying there's a lot of things that I felt like I should be doing, but when I prayed to my God above, to the creator of all things, to the same God I think created Kanye and Kyrie, you know what he tells me? that I'm exactly where he wants me to be, despite the agreements around me telling me otherwise. That when he's ready for me to move, I'll move. But until then, I'm where he wants me to be. This is what comes to mind. This is what comes to heart. This is what feels right. No different. No different. Because I'm one of God's. Not to say that everybody else ain't one of God's. This ain't one of them situations where I'm the main character. That's demonic. We already talked about that. Everybody's the main character. There are no sub-characters in this situation. That's like saying God made some mistakes, so that person over there don't mean as much as I do. No, that's demonic. That's the very energy that would make it so that you have no compassion and can get away with it in your own mind. You don't govern your own soul when you think that way. That's not what I'm pushing. But what I'm saying is, God put certain people in certain positions to do certain things. And like I said, he made them a certain puzzle piece, a certain particular mold, so that they could be exactly the way they were. And if they had anything different about them, they wouldn't be wired the right way to be where they need to be. See what I'm saying? Kyrie wouldn't be, if he wasn't as gifted dribbling the ball as he is, and he ain't as gifted with the basketball in his hand as he actually is, then what he's doing wouldn't hit the same. It wouldn't cause the same ruckus. Now look at little coincidences. Maybe it's God, maybe it's some type of Illuminati thing. Who knows? I'm just a guy in his apartment, so I don't know. But when I look at it and I say these things, I say this aligns as well. Down to these guys' names. Down to these dudes' names. Kyrie K, Kanye K, Kaepernick K. Are we kidding? Are we serious? Or are we just acting like we don't see any of that? Now, I didn't come up with that one. Somebody else pointed that out. I'm just relaying what they pointed out for me to see, but it's there. It's there. I ain't like the K's are there. What do you want me to do? All I'm saying is, if you apply the variable that a higher being is essentially trying to flex his power against the fake God that walks the earth, and he's trying to initially show the rest of us that ain't no real God, so we ain't got to fear them or adhere to them or keep signing with them or whatever the heck. That's essentially what we're getting here. The creator of these talented people, the creator of all that is normal, what it should be normal, what feels right to us, the one that makes us feel like we're doing what we should be doing or not. Yeah, I think he's ready to basically say, yo, I'm in charge here. That's what he's saying. We got work to do. I'm in charge, and it's time to reestablish that. That's what I think is happening. And I got a good hunch to say, if we fail in understanding that is what's happening here, I got a feeling we're going to be forced into understanding it very soon. That's what I think comes after this. It's like, all right, he's trying to get us to get it. If we don't get it, he's going to do something. I'm telling you. And I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not scared when I say this. This is the truth. He's going to make us feel it. This is not one of them situations where we're just going to be able to go back to do things as normal. That's simply what this video is about. I don't think so. I do not think so. All of this didn't line up for us to just be able to go back into the shadows and just say, okay, well, those behind the curtain keep on going. Hey, go them. No, it's more like go them. It's time for them to go. And so they're going to find that out. And see, that's the thing about it. They are a praying people. Those behind the curtain, they are spiritual people. They know what time it is. A lot of us are not as inclined as we should be, but they are. They know they've been acting up. They know what time it is. They know God is real, and they know he's revealed himself. They know that. Even if it's just speculation in my head and I'm just a guy walking around his apartment in the dark. What I'm telling you is, there ain't no speculation to those who are behind the curtain, so to speak. They know what's up. They just don't really necessarily want us to react to what's up. And what I'm telling you is, we're part of it. All of us are part of it, man. We all playing our part. And those who are still asleep, or those who don't believe that this is some divine stuff, or those who are still in the dark about God being in existence, that's cool. That's cool. Just keep watching is where we're at this point. This is not one of them situations where we sit up here and challenge anybody. No. Nope. Don't have to. If you keep watching, you'll see what it is. This is one of those type of things. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of believers at the end of this. It's gonna be a lot of believers. I'm telling you. Some stuff is undeniable. It is what it is. So that's what I'm here to tell you guys, man. I don't know what is next. Obviously, I'm not a psychic. But what I can say is a lot of things are starting to make sense that have never made sense before. And it only took 2 or 3 things to be put into the equation for it to make sense. As far as certain things I'm seeing. The distractions and the smearing of black people, the various different black people and all this different stuff. Even if those black people are putting themselves in positions to be smeared, because a lot of them are backing themselves into corners. At the end of the day, I just wonder how many of them are coerced into those corners in the first place, only to be, pushed like this in this way. So, I don't know. God is working, the enemy's working. We just got to stay prayed up as a people, man, and understand that, what's in front of us, there's more to what's there to see. And as far as this Josiah thing, this is exactly why I didn't want to make a video about it, because to me, it's just so much deeper than what everybody's talking about. It's so far deeper than just, the surface. All this owner has come around because now he's gotten pressure placed on him by the people. Yeah, that's all on the surface. That's all on the surface. The deeper issue, though, is they figured out some truths and are now walking it back, just like I told you they would. They saw what was in the movie and realized those who were telling them what was in the movie was some damn liars. That's the truth. I think Josiah found that out. I think Adam Silver found that out. And I think a bunch of other people behind the damn curtain found that out too. They were enacting a certain punishment against Kyrie Irving, trusting people who told them to act. And those people betrayed them. That's a fact. Now, people like Josiah and Adam Silver, behind the scenes, in my humble opinion, without knowing any of these people, now got to look at the people they trust and figure out who the hell didn't do their due diligence before allowing them to put themselves out there like that. That's what I think is really happening right now. Adam Silver saying, why in the hell did y'all let me do that? And Josiah probably thinking the same thing. You trying to tell me that what's in that movie was this? And y'all told me it was that? That's what's going on, I believe. That's what I believe is happening. And they've learned their lessons that never, ever, ever do anything like that without seeing it with your own eyes. And certainly do not ever let anyone virtue you away from seeing something with your own eyes. Because that is what they just did to us. I got a good friend of mine, one of the smartest people I know. Woman's way smarter than me. But she's lost in the sauce because she refused to see the movie because of the agreements that they've put in her head to believe that she's a bad person for looking at it. I had that conversation with her myself. I was like, did you see the movie? She was like, no, I'm not messing with that. I'm like, why not? She was like, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm like, and that's how they get you. They got a bunch of people like that. That's the formula. Once something is released, and they don't want you to see it, but they know everybody has access to it and they can't control it, the best thing they can do is sour the well. Tell you that you're a bad person for being curious about it. That's all they can do. What else can they do? That's the only play left to play. If you have that in your arsenal, you got to use that, because that's the only thing left. You can't regulate it. You can only deter people from wanting to see it. And the only way to truly effectively get people to not see something is to make them feel like it's their choice. They don't want to see it. That thing in their heart that makes them feel like they're a bad person is being ruptured by going over there to look at it. That's how they get you. Because they know you're not going to betray that for which is inside of you that tells you you're a good person. So you're going to be an anti this if you see that movie. You're going to be a racist that if you see that movie. And if that can effectively keep you from going to see it. Ugh, man, I'm not even about to do that. I betray myself. I betray my things that I know. I betray my loved ones, my friends. What do I look like seeing this movie? And then you don't see the movie. You never gain the context. You never understand that the movie is 3.5 hours of comparative data that shows you the truth and will change your complete mind about everything that you've heard about this movie once you see it. There are no actors, there are no nothing. It's just information. What are you offended by, really? Here's the conversation once you lay eyes upon 3 hours and 30 minutes of the movie. And that's what I was telling you guys. This narrative is going to change. And you don't actually know until you see it. And that's what I was trying to explain to everybody. Like, look, context. It's impossible to see this clearly until you've seen the movie. Because what's being said behind the scenes and what's actually in there, it don't add up. And once you do see it, then you'll understand that it is clear to anyone that does see it that it don't add up. As to which your conversation automatically changes. So that's what happened. That's what happened. You see? So as far as I can tell, man, the same gut feeling that I've been trusting the whole time that's leading me to see all of this before it actually plays out the way it does. It's the same thing that helping me understand what it is that I've been seeing these last 31 minutes. That this is God knocking on the door saying, hey, let me in. Let me in. I understand there's a bunch of people around here acting like they're me. They are not. It's essentially what I'm gathering. So they better let them in before you kick the door down. That's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDF 44. I'll thank you all for watching.